Swords, dragons, armor, and more dragons, all embodied in this medieval-inspired watch. If you're into knights, gothic aesthetics, mythology, or dragons, you've got to see this watch. Let's get right into it on this episode of Adventures with Time. This watch is the Valimor Kilgharrah. Valimor is a microbrand creating watches with gothic designs. The brand name Valimor is an amalgamation of valiant and armor. The Kilgharrah collection is inspired by the legend of King Arthur, more specifically Kilgharrah, the great dragon imprisoned beneath Camelot. The Kilgharrah has design elements from the Arthurian legend throughout. Let's start with the display caseback, where you'll see two dragons embossed on the rotor of the Miyota 8315 automatic movement. Around the edge of the screw-down back is a pattern reminiscent of dragon scales. The front of the watch continues this theme everywhere you look. The dial is patterned like the scales of a dragon, which comes to life given the graduated coloring, blue on this model. On the dial, they've used sword, hour, and minute hands, polished on one edge and brushed on the other. But unlike the other sword hands you've seen, the sword arrow hand here includes handguards, as you'd find on a medieval battle sword. The sword iconography is continued on the crown, which is styled like the pommel found on the end of a sword's hilt. Here it has an embedded gemstone. Moving back to the front, you can see a layered chapter ring. The applied hour indices alternate between even Arabic numerals in medieval or Old English font and sword-shaped markers. Moving out and up a layer, there is a minute track with button markers interspersed at the 5-minute intervals. Out and up another level is the minute scale, outlined every 5 minutes, surrounded by intricate designs. On top of the case is a 60-click timing bezel with ceramic insert and an edge grip which resembles the dragon's dorsal fin. This model has a stainless steel bracelet with butterfly clasp which employs the Valimor logo. The center sections of the bracelet have a diamond pattern, which you can decide if they represent dragon scales or the chainmail armor a knight would wear. You can get these watches on a rubber strap for less, which has more iconography and an intricately designed buckle. You also get a themed watch box with companion booklet filled with illustrations of the Arthurian legend. Clearly, this is a watch for those who are into Gothic or medieval aesthetics, not just those who play Dungeons and Dragons. There are several colorways available on either strap or bracelet to match your desired look. Note, some models are out of stock and don't have an associated sale price. This is a wild and fantastical watch which has a lot of wrist presence. No matter from what angle you look, even from the side, you are struck by the detailed imagery designed into this watch. Even the unadorned parts of this watch, namely the case itself, are done well with a brush finish, accented by a polished chamfer. The 40mm case fits well on my 7 7/8 inch wrist, even with its 15mm thickness. The domed sapphire crystal flows nicely into the angled bezel insert, presenting the illusion of a thinner watch. I don't think many wrists will have a problem with this sizing. It has a respectable Miyota 8315 movement, which is an upgrade from the 8215. You get a nice 60-hour power reserve, and I've been getting reasonable accuracy. Even in low light situations, there are elements to see. The even hour numerals in a period-appropriate font are loomed along with the hands and the bezel markers. However, there are some issues with this watch, which each of you will have to assess the significance for yourself. The bezel has a lot of play. If you're a diver or a perfectionist, this will impact your decision. Although I like a bezel with a scale, I don't really make use of them. Rather, I think their presence adds interest to a watch. So play in a bezel is not that important to me. Yet it does say something about the build quality of a watch. The sapphire crystal has 3 layers of anti-reflective coating, which doesn't sufficiently reduce the glare. You'll get reflections in many situations, which will detract from the appearance of this watch and your ability to appreciate the detailed aspects of the design. I've heard that some reviewers think the price is a bit high. This model I have was out of stock at the making of this video, so it has a non-discounted retail price of $546 US. However, the other colorways on strap are sale priced as low as $317 US. On bracelet, they are currently priced at $448. Consider this gray dial model on a rubber strap with gilt bezel edge grip. A price tag with $349 US, with all the details designed and fabricated into this watch, doesn't seem far off the mark. Do you agree? You should also take a look at this other innovative watch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.